Hi guys, gonna try something a little bit different. Hopefully might be amusing, entertaining, that kind of thing. Try not to get too butthurt if I cover one of your posts, take it in the wrong way. If I do, feel free to drop a comment, send me a message on the forum, stuff like that. But we're gonna go through a couple of topics I've picked out from the FFG forums and just try and break down some arguments and generally give you my opinion on people's thoughts. So gonna try and make it as entertaining as possible, but we'll see how it goes. The views on the video will tell. If you enjoy it, we'll do more. If you don't, I'll probably do more anyway if I enjoy it, so suck it up. So the first post I'm going to look at was a disappointed in I Am Your Father's Day events. This is obviously FFG Forums X-Wing, and it's from a user called Slow Reflex in a grumpy tone. I have to say, it sounded good on paper. Promo cards that are for getting new people to learn the game, nice casual environment, sounds great for a game. However, in reality, all I've seen is using them as prizes for paid for tournaments. ... Sure, it's a way for stores to make some money, but I wish they'd see beyond the obvious and took the opportunity to get some new players into the game, which consequently would make them more money as well. But no, promos equaled paid for events. It's a shame. I hope it wouldn't discourage FFG from trying something like this again. P.S. I've seen this in the UK, but suspect it's most likely like this everywhere. Grumpy. So, I'm going to give you two sides to this perspective. One is that players actually make a demand for this kind of thing. If you're an established player, it was the same with the Poe Dameron alternate art for the demo table. You were getting experienced players coming in wanting a card, so we're going to force the staff to run a demo. The staff know it's a waste of time, the player knows it's a waste of time, but they want a Poe Dameron card. So what are you going to do? You're not going to tell them they can't have it. It's not only bad for business, it's bad for the community. People enjoy the alternate art cards. What I would also throw out is Slow Reflex is right. This kind of stuff is the ideal opportunity to run something a little bit different. So you can get on at the stores. There are other ways of doing this. You don't have to run a paid tournament. Do a flight school, do a dogfight, just, bring a ship down, throw it down, do a Hunger Games. There's loads of stuff you can do. But what bothers me about this post is don't voice it on the forums. Aren't going to get anything done. You can whine on the forums and be all grumpy, but nothing's going to get done. Did you talk to the actual store? Say, have you not thought about doing this instead? Volunteer to do that. I know, for example, the store I work in, we are running an X-Wing Flight Academy this weekend. We're using the I Am Your Father's Day stuff for that event to give out to all the new players. If an experienced player wants one, they have to come down to the Flight Academy and be a teacher, be a mentor, be a role model in the community and earn the card that way. So it isn't like this everywhere. I understand your frustration, but try and be a positive influence rather than just complaining about it. Doesn't get anything accomplished. So sorry if you feel like I'm calling people out, but I hate forum whining. It bothers me. Okay. The next one I wanted to look at, complete tangent. So this one was by Wagenburner 5000, and a thread is called, gonna sound weird, but I don't believe the meta actually exists, just a popularity funnel. So you've always got to love a thread that starts with, hear me out. I don't discount the lists that are super effective, to a multitude of lists, 40 LTs, PAL paces, 3 U-boats, etc. So that would be the meta then. Having a list that is super effective, which you don't discount. So that is the actual meaning of a meta, but we'll keep reading. But until someone makes a game-breaking mathematical graph of ships, their abilities, pilots, upgrades, etc., the 40 LTs and PAL paces are at the top, then they will eat shoes. It's mostly leather should support. The reason I say this is because when everyone talks about the meta, everyone kind of clues in like word of mouth myths from the arcades of old saying, yeah, I agree, this is the best list because I saw one guy use it and it destroyed the other guy. I don't really know too much about the game, but it sure is fun. Maybe I'll give these awesome lists a chance because people won't stop talking about them. I've seen it on these forums, something akin to a herd mentality, or more appropriately, an 18th century court fashion followers. To me, it's simple nonsense. I have used all of the lists above in my weekly matchups multiple times, and to be completely honest with you, the results definitely vary. Sometimes I win, sometimes a bunny rips my throat out. The reasons I'm on this soapbox is because everyone gets Jim is rustled when they say certain ship builds ruin the game because they're too powerful. To that, I'll use a saying to my daughter uses, that is bullspit. The game is so flipping varied you can come up with a multitude of ways to combat others. Hell, Paul Heaver does it every freaking year. His method is much like my own, just do your own thing, try everything, don't listen to anyone but yourself, and above all, have fun for heck's sake, because the meta doesn't exist. Okay, so, where to start? I'm going to say, it's got 14 likes on this thread, not going to attack Wagon Burner 5000 or anything like that, but you're wrong. Putting it simply, the meta is a thing. The meta in your local area might not be what the forums say the worldwide meta should be. That doesn't mean that it isn't a meta. The meta is basically trying to plan around what you're expecting to see. If you expect to see the PS1 Z95 Swarm because everyone's playing 8 Scum Zs, then you take 8 Rebel Zs, you've played the meta because you've countered that. It's not difficult. So sorry guys, I'm slightly triggered. It's just one of those things. The reason why people say blah blah blah, I actually agree with his second paragraph. That people do take what they see on a stream or what people say in a podcast or what someone says on YouTube and they run with it. That's fine. Personally, I'll always try and look at things. It's one of the things I'd like to think that people enjoy about the content, is I try and put out multiple perspectives. But saying the meta doesn't exist, you don't have to play to a meta, you can try and just be good. But saying that Paul Heaver does not play to a meta is the most ridiculous, counterintuitive way to try to back up this argument I could even think of. One of Paul's strongest attributes when it comes to the world's results that he's won is that he can read what the meta's likely to be. In part, personally, I feel that he helps to shape the meta and then has his ace card in his back pocket, but that's still other people's fault for not seeing it first. But the entire reason his list worked last year, so 2015 Worlds, was that Paul out-PS'd Fell, and outpointed fell. So if it's Paul v Fell, Paul wins because it costs more points and neither one's going to kill the other one. The Stress Hog helped deal with the lower level stuff, action denial, everything like that. It was a perfect read on what the meta was likely to be with pal paces. It chewed up TLTs as long as you could get it down to pole versus 2 TLTs, you were going to be fine. And that is reading the meta. That isn't the meta not existing and this magical list coming out and winning. That's understanding that the meta exists and building with it in mind. The year before, you're expecting Whisper or you're expecting Fat Hands. So he built to win the Fat Hand matchup, and he negated 3 damage a turn, the other hands only negate 2. That is countering the meta. That isn't the meta not existing. So I'm not trying to rip this post apart or anything like that. I'm just showing why I disagree. The forum mentality and that kind of stuff I'm fine with. People do jump on the bandwagons. People will complain that something's too powerful rather than trying to think how to beat it. The other aspect of his argument is that people pick stuff up, pick up a meta list and lose with it. That's because they might be bad. Not everyone can be good at something. And, it's one of the things that really triggers me is that you can't just assume that something is either broken or not. Or it's either broken because it's too strong or broken because it's not strong enough. It could be the players. Maybe, just maybe, you're not quite as good as you think you are. Okay. Leave it there, move on. Fun times. Why is Palpatine? I didn't actually read this thread, I just saw the heading and wanted to go in, and I really, really hope it's going to be something. But why is Palpatine so overcosted? Seriously, he's like $35 on eBay. Okay, so don't like it, don't buy him, run someone else. Pretty simple, really. Obviously, he's talking about why it costs so much. Are FFG going to do another 3PO where we release it as an event card, try and counter that secondary market? I wouldn't expect so for Palpatine. I don't feel like the Raider is poor value. You're not only getting Palpatine, you're getting the Raider itself, which is awesome. It's a beautiful model, really good and epic play. And you're also getting the fix for the TIE Advanced. If you want to play the game and enjoy X-Wing, buy a Raider. Simple. I very rarely have run Palpatine recently, and I'm still more than happy with the purchase. Okay. This was a good one. 2 hit point primaries enough anymore. And this is by Slow Reflex. Have I done him already? Am I picking on one person? Oh dear. Yep. So this is Slow Reflex again, and I find myself steering away from putting ships that can only get 2 maximum hits unless they have some shenanigans like Wampa. I'm pretty new to the game though. Are they still viable, as when I've tried with them I struggle to break through the defence unless I'm very lucky, or it's a decimator. By the way, I'm not counting those ships that don't mainly use the primaries. So obviously, it says himself here that is a new player, so I'm going to come at this again. It's going to be a pattern emerging for this kind of thing from both sides. So 2 attack dice ships are on the weaker end of the attack spectrum. That's a simple way to say it. They normally have something to mitigate that. For example, the TIE Fighter has its agility, has the evade, has its point cost, and that package is what makes it. The Z95 has the durability of the 4 hit points in that points cost. Both of them are about as efficient of a package as you can get. They're not designed to be shooting something at range 2 as an individual ship. You are not going to kill a Sutnia Fel with a Z95 shooting 1 shot a turn. It's not going to happen. But that isn't to say the primaries aren't enough. The Crack Swarm proves that. The option to add Crack Shot onto it. The Z95 Swarm has been a thing and done well at events. Having the blockers, for example, go back to Paul's Worlds list, the Binary Pirate blocker was really strong and was a really important component in that. So by no means do I feel like they're underpowered, but I'm going to come at it from another angle. The position X-Wing's in at the moment, I would go as far to say that a 3 dice primary attack with a focus token is no longer the norm. That is not the baseline of damage output anymore. That used to be, so a focused X-Wing used to be scary. A focused B-Wing used to be scary. Now, if it isn't a torpedo boat with modifications from R4 and Deadeye shenanigans with guidance chips, or if it isn't a Whisper with a target lock focus backed up by Palpatine, the Ghost with its 4 dice primary and Han and fire control system. These are the levels of what the meta is created to be the baseline of this is what you need to output damage. It's a natural progression of the game that 3 dice primary range to attack. It's gonna kill stuff, but it's underwhelming now. It isn't like when we used to play Wave 1. It isn't like when you first bought your core set and that X-Wing would grab a target lock 1 turn, focus the next, and try and annihilate a TIE Fighter at range 1. The game's moved on, and that's fine. But just because that isn't the baseline offensive value anymore, doesn't discount the 2 attack ships. The Hawk, terrible. 1 attack should never have been allowed to happen. That was a mistake. But everything barring the Seek is fine and has a use. Okay. Then, no news since 18th of May. Fuzzy Wookie, my fur is getting all wet from my tears. So I think you'll find that since May 18th there has been... I've got to scroll through pages and pages of stuff. So this is... There we go. So on May 18th we had the Fly Casual article. Then we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's been like a crap ton of news. 2.5 pages worth of news. Oh, so you mean X-Wing news? It's a shame, isn't it? It's almost like FFG have a multitude of games that we publish. I mean, I was extremely happy with all of the Imperial Assault news, the Armada news. But oh man, have a look at that interdictor. Tell me that's not a beautiful model that you're not excited to see on the table. I mean, Game of Thrones, a card game, loads of stuff coming out. You don't want to get X-Wing to a point where we're releasing a news article every week, because then what happens is you've got to wait what feels like all eternity to get goddamn Imperial Veterans. I still don't have it yet. It's on its way. We'll have it on the 30th. But I've played games with it because they've spoiled all the cards months and months ago. Stop it, FFG. Stop rushing the news. Enjoy having all of these different licenses. Get involved playing other games. If X-Wing is your only interest, read other stuff. Watch my videos. Go on the forums. Play games with what we've got and enjoy where we are, because everything will change and then everything will change again. But don't rush it. It's just stop. I hate that complaint. And then I was gonna talk about what's the last one? Yeah, that was it. I was going to finish on what I hoped was going to be a nice serious topic. Okay, so this one was entitled Not Stomping Newbies. Let me preface this post by first of all saying that I'm not a great player, not even good. I'd probably say I'm average at best. So, Richard Thomas, you have my interest now. That's a good way to start this type of post. Anyway, over the last couple of weeks in various threads, I've seen people mention that one should never stomp newbies, and I really want to explore what's meant by that. In the place I play at now, and have played at in the past, there seems to be a steady stream of players that are new to a game, and so plenty of opportunity to play against them. I certainly would never want to put anyone off playing the game, and so I'm always friendly, offer advice, and when appropriate give encouragement and or congratulations. However, when I go to a store to play, the list I'll have will be whichever list I'm trying to get good with, and which I hope will be competitive. So, that being the case, how far do you take not stomping newbies? Is what I'm already doing enough, or should I play badly, brackets, on purpose, by making silly moves, not spending tokens at the best time, or even forgetting to take actions altogether? The last thing I want to do is beat them super easily, as I'm sure it's demoralising for them and frankly boring for me. But unless I play badly on purpose, which is a waste of my gaming night, and at least with regard to getting better, then it's often difficult not to. Thoughts? So, it's a really interesting topic, and I'm glad I get to close on this one. So, first out, I agree, you should never stomp a newbie. I'd go as far as to say, in an intro game, the person giving the intro should lose. It doesn't matter how it happens, they should lose. Now, it's a game with dice, so sometimes it gets extremely difficult for that circumstance to come across. But that's just how I feel about it. An intro game and introducing a new player to a game should be more about telling the story of what's happening, keeping them involved, and different people react in different ways. Got guys playing now who have come in from hardcore War Machine tournament players, and they're really looking for getting deep into a game and getting better. So you progress it. You start off, just throw some chips on the table, move them around, let them make mistakes, talk through what you're doing when you're doing it. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got dad and his son come into the store wanting the game. You're not going to be enforcing missed opportunities. You're not going to let them barrel roll so that the next turn's going to go over a rock and that they don't get the shot. Or if they barrel roll one way, you're not going to say, oh, well, you've decoded it that direction now, so you have to. You're not going to do everything in your means to make sure that you win that game. If you happen to win a fun game, that's fine. But you don't have to necessarily fly badly. But for example, and I'm going to come back to Richard's actual post, but I'm just going to give an anecdotal piece first, is that I'll normally include an overcosted ship. I'll pile too many upgrades on something. I'll modify a list so it's a little bit suboptimal and just go from there. And I always feel like that's enough normally, that handicap with the right attitude should be enough to make it an interesting game. I'm not going to fly pal paces to full effectiveness to try and beat them. But coming on to Richard's point, if he's taken Fel, Vader, Palpatine and someone's flying 4 X-Wings at him, it's going to be difficult to make this a fun game. But you can you can choose to joust with the shuttle and Vader. You can spend Emperor offensively when you might want to save him, and then try and challenge yourself to beat him with just Fel, because eventually you'll play somebody who can take out Vader in the shuttle and leave you with just Fel. So that covers it's a fun game, both people have killed stuff. It covers you wanting to get better and that you're challenging yourself to just get the most out of an important piece in case that happens. And even if you still win, they should feel like it was a close game. They killed Vader, they killed the shuttle, and you sell it. Oh god, you've killed Vader. It's supposed to be a Dark Lord of the Sith. The Emperor as well. Oh no, the Empire's doomed. Make it fun. Make it about the story of the game, so that even if you do win, it was still an enjoyable experience. I feel like not stomping newbies is more about the fly casual, don't be a dick type attitude. You're not proving anything to anyone if you beat someone who's never played the game before with your top tier list. It's about as simple as that. So that was all of the threads I wanted to cover. I didn't go too deep into any of the posts to say. None of it was meant as personal attacks on people, just some talking points for me to rant and spout crap about. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, leave a comment. If you disagree with me on anything, leave a comment and I might make another video, Kris versus the YouTube comments. But I enjoyed it, guys. I hope you did too. And please subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the content, leave a comment. Say I'm hoping to get some contests up and running soon. Get a few more subscribers in, and then I'll do a giveaway for some dice trays or something good. And that's about it. Have a good day. See you all again soon.